Good morning, good afternoon, happy new year, and welcome to this week in Renewables. That is correct, it's a new year, so season 2. More news, more videos, more interviews. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is your bite-sized roundup of the renewable sector over the last 7 days. Anything hydropower, wind, solar, anything renewables I discuss. I'm your host, Mr. Deja Consola, the voice you can trust. A bit of renewable energy news to brighten up your January blues. Today, I start off with some solar news coming by way of Germany. Interestingly, looking at the total installed solar last year in 2021, a impressive 5.3 gigawatts. As reported by the German Solar Industry Association, BSWs. Approximately 240,000 new modules were connected to the grid in 2021. This is a 10% increase in sales compared to the previous year. And most interestingly, 10% of domestic electricity consumption in Germany is now being covered by solar PV systems. So very much showing that Germany is leading the way as one of the European countries on way to achieving its renewable energy targets as set out in 2021. More news coming from the solar sector in Europe, this time by way of independent power producer Sonidix. They have recently completed the acquisition of a 100 megawatt operational solar portfolio in Spain from ACS. The portfolio itself consists of two 50 megawatt ground mounted solar PV projects located in Castilla-La Mancha and Caracas, which have been operational since 2019 and November 2021 respectively. Just to give a bit of background to this portfolio, the solar plant in Castilla-La Mancha was awarded in 2017 Spanish auction, whilst the solar plant in Caracas will sell energy in the market. So good news coming by way of Spain. Some more news from the solar sector from Eastern Europe now, and Mazda have recently signed an agreement with Georgian European Development Fund to develop up to 100 megawatts of solar PV in the country. The new site will be jointly developed between the two organisations and will be Georgia's largest solar plant. Interestingly, Mazda have commented that the development of the project is being carried out as part of a larger framework agreement signed by the Georgian Energy Development Fund, GEDF to be short, this year to develop renewable energy projects in the Eurasian nation. The agreement was signed recently by the Mazda Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Mohammed Jamal Al-Rami, and the GEDF Chief Executive Officer, Georgi Chukovany, who later commented that Georgia strongly follows its roots and, in accordance with the country's strategy, continues its utilization of renewable energy sources. This agreement, which aims to develop solar projects with one of the world's leading renewable energy companies, is a precondition for achieving the priority goals and targets of the state energy policy. So congratulations to all those at Mazda and within the Georgian government and energy bodies. Very interesting to see how that particular project progresses over the next couple of months and this year. From solar to some wind news, starting off from the onshore side. Nordex have received a new order of 380 megawatt cluster wind project in Finland. This was awarded by the Finnish utility company Fortune, who signed and closed an agreement with Nordex to supply and install commission 56 N163 wind turbines of the latest 6X turbines. Just to give you some more details, particularly about this agreement. This is the first project of the Fortum and Uniper wind and solar farm team partnership with the Finnish energy company Helen, and the first order of the Nordics turbines placed by Fortum. Importantly, the order will also include a long-term service contract. The project, which marks the debut of the 6-set turbines variant for Nordex in the Nordics region, is located in the Napes and the Kristend in southwestern Finland, South Vasa. Installation of the turbines, which will be delivered in a project-specific operational mode of 6.8 megawatts, is scheduled to begin in the spring of 2023. So congratulations to Nordex and those involved in this particular project. More news on the wind side, this time coming by way of Italian developer ERG. They have recently celebrated the new year by confirming the start of the commercial operation on a 70 megawatt portfolio of UK onshore wind. The company said that the 46.8 megawatt Everskarin and the 23.5 megawatt Gragor projects, both in Derry in Northern Ireland, have started production. Both sites are subsidy-free wind farms. The project itself features 13 Vestas V112.36 megawatt turbines, while the Enercon units are spinning at the Cragor site. ERG, meanwhile, also said it has commissioned the 7 megawatt Vallée d'Olalla wind farm, which is located in Upper France. All three sites will have an overall production of full capacity of approximately 268 gigawatts per hour, making it possible to avoid the emission of 130,000 tons of CO2 every year. So again, this is really good news coming by way of the UK and France from the Italian developer ERG. Moving from onshore wind to a bit of offshore wind, and the Singapore developer G8 and Holim Tech have entered into an agreement to develop a 150 megawatt offshore wind farm in South Korea. Just to give a bit more information about this particular project, once completed, the wind farm will be able to power 500,000 homes and businesses with renewable energy. The developer has also added that the high voltage subsea power cables will be installed with its precision cable lay protection technologies to help ensure the maximum long-term security of the power connection to the grid. The construction and operations of the turbine plant will also contribute heavily to future job creation. So congratulations to those involved in this particular project, particularly those from the developer G8 and the Holim Tech, who've entered into this agreement to develop these wind farms in South Korea. This very much follows the theme at the moment. Southeast Asia, particularly South Korea, Japan and Taiwan, are very much busy in the offshore wind side. We're expecting to see more news from that region, particularly on the offshore side with regards to wind. Last and not least, some hydropower news. First of all, starting off with Vattenfall. They are set to deliver hydropower from its Nordic plant to Neste in Finland from the 1st of January 2022, so this year, through to 2024. The total annual volume of the hydropower agreement is 800 gigawatts of electricity purchased with guarantees of origin. Neste, if you're unfamiliar with them, are a producer of renewable diesel and sustainable aviation fuel refined from waste and residues, has been a Vattenfall customer since 2019. Just to give a bit more about this particular agreement, it was commented that As part of these climate commitments, the new hydropower agreement will enable Neste to achieve the 100% renewable electricity target in Finland as early as 2021. So this is really good news, as the collaboration between Vattenfall and Neste, as they're pronounced, is an important step towards the reduction of emissions, as commented by Branislav Slavic, who is the head of customer and solutions for Vattenfall Nordics. More news from the hydropower side of things, this time by way of Switzerland, who are interestingly considering the building of new hydroelectric dams. This is as a result of the squeeze on the European energy supplies, which has caused a surge in prices. The Federal Office of Energy have recently met to consider a new list of projects. Switzerland, which is already one of the world's biggest hydroelectric generators, warned of major industrial power users may have to conserve energy use this winter to avoid large-scale blackouts. Power prices have surged across much of Europe in recent months due to a squeeze on natural gas supplies. The country will consider building concrete dams in the Swiss Alps that will use water reservoirs to drive turbines and produce electricity without the production of carbon. Among the potential new dams is the Gonelli, which is near the Zermatt, which could stand 85 meters high, which is 270 feet to be precise, and 285 meters wide, and will cost in the region of 250 million Swiss francs, so $271 million if you're using the US sterling. The proposed dams near the ski resort town of Zermatt would face the famed Matterhorn mountain peak. The project is backed by energy firm Alpic AG and could generate enough power for 150 households. So it'll be really interesting to see how this progresses. There has been some backlash towards this news, but as commented, this may be one of the only solutions to combat the recent surge in energy prices. So again, really interesting to see how this particular develops across Switzerland, and more news as I come across I will share with you as a matter of priority. In other news, congratulations to Zoe Keaton, RWE Renewables, UK Head of Regulatory Affairs, who has been recently awarded the OBE by the Queen in the News Honours List. Ms. Keaton has worked with governments, industry bodies and key national stakeholders and companies across the sector to help forge the key policies responsible for shaping the UK's expanding wind industry, as commented by RWE. This is a major achievement, so congratulations to Zoe Keaton, who has been awarded an OBE for her work to the renewable sector. On that note, that sums up this week in renewables. Thank you for watching and have a great week ahead. Try not to get bogged down with those January blues. Don't forget, keep it clean, keep it green. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Set your notifications on, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any other streaming platform. This has been This Week in Renewables. Thank you very much. Goodbye.